Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create my Zahara bracelet. This is a loom design and it is reversible. I do prefer wearing it on the front side because it really hugs the wrist nicely, as you can see here. You will need about 130 bands total to create this. The breakdown of that is 54 of the baby blue. You will need 50 of the hot pink, 48 of the purple rings, and 24 of the clear sparkle in the middle. To make this bracelet, you will need to have at least 4 bar pins wide. Make sure that they are aligned like this. And then to get a longer bracelet, I've attached another 4 bars right in front of it. Depending on the bands you use, it might still not be long enough to fit around your wrist. If it is not, you will just need to add some extension bands on like this at the end. So if you only have one set of 4, you'll just need more of those extension bands. You can certainly still make it. But for now, we're going to choose the color that we're going to be laying, and that is going to be the baby blue right here. So I'm going to use my pastel blue, and this is from the Rainbow Loom treasure box. And we're going to start by laying one in the very center. And that's for closing it later. And then to start, we're going to lay a diagonal stretch up to the second pin on the right, like that. And do the same thing on the left side. So it's kind of like a long diagonal stretch, and that's just to close things off later. And now we're going to go straight down the sides. So whether you're using one set or 2 sets of 4, you're going to lay these bands all the way to the end of your loom. Once you get down to the very end of your loom, you're going to stop and come back to the beginning. We're not going to bring it in here. We'll do that later. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the left side. So just go ahead and get your left side border laid and stop when you reach the very end of your loom. So this is what your loom will look like once both of those are laid. We're going to come back to the beginning of our loom and we're going to pick our next color. So we're now going to be laying the hot pink bands right here. And it is laid as an X on the back. So I'm going to stick with pink. But this is from the Pastel treasure box. And we are going to be laying a bunch of X's in the center. So from the left front center pin, we're going to make a cross diagonal cross to the right and cross it back like so. We'll do that again, crossing it to the right and then to the left. And that is all we're going to do for this part. We're just going to lay X's all the way down the center of the loom. The good thing about this bracelet is it's very easy as far as the laying goes. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty straightforward bracelet, not too hard. But the laying of the bands is definitely very easy and it's pretty quick, which is always nice. So this is what it will look like once you have all of your center X's laid. So take a second to get all of those pushed down, and then I will tell you the next bands that we are going to lay. So now we're going to choose the ring color, which is my purple. I'm going to be using my round limited edition bands from rainbowloom.com. But whatever band that you do choose, I just want to show you, you want something that when you stretch the band and let it go, it goes back to its original shape. You don't want to use something that's super thin for this part. Like if you stretch it and then it stays stretched out, I wouldn't use it for this part. So we're going to be basically, our goal here is to end up with a bunch of squares on these outer rows. But the way that I like to do it is by laying a single chain and then using my hook to stretch it over. So we're going to start on the right side. So not starting on the first center pin, coming up to the second one. We're going to lay a straight band just going up those 2. And then we will lay another one after that. And keep going down the loom. So we will eventually be pulling this band over to these 2 pins as well, so that it makes a whole square. But it takes me longer trying to lay the square at once. And I also don't like when I use regular bands, it twists. So doing it this way is easier for me. But if you want to lay the square all at once, you would just wrap it around all 4 like that. But I'm going to show you the way that I do it. And to do that, we're just going to do this all the way down the loom first. So I have it all laid on my right side. And then I like to come back with my hook, and you do have to do this from the back of the loom. You can't start at the end, so come back here and start with the very first one. You're just going to grab the entire right side of the band and pull it over and connect it to the 2 pins that are sitting next to it. Push it down some just so it's out of the way. Come up to the next one and grab that and just pull it over and connect it to the corresponding pins. And we'll go down the loom and stretch them all over just like that, creating squares all the way down it. So that's what it will look like once you have your squares all stretched over. And I'll give you a side view of it. So we're going to now do that same thing to the left side. So I'm going to lay a straight line going all the way down the center row. And then just like I did on the right side, I will stretch them over. So I'm going to go through this part pretty quickly. It's up to you if you want to lay the squares as you lay it, or you can do it like I am doing it. So I have them all laid, and then just like I did on the other side, I'm going to come back. I'm going to grab it with my hook. You're going to grab the outer part of the band and just stretch it over to the left and connect it to the 2 pins sitting directly next to the band. Okay, so once your loom looks like this, go through and push all of these down, and then I'll show you the last layer that we are going to lay. So the last set of bands that we're going to lay are going to be these clear sparkle bands that sit right here in the very center of it. It pokes out a little bit on the side there, but I'm going to be using my Glow Party green. It's like a fluorescent see-through kind of green, but it glows in the dark. And we're going to be laying a long stretched band going all the way across all 4 rows. So we're going to start on this very first one here. Not here where it starts, but the next row up where our first square starts. And we're just going to simply stretch it across all 4 like so. Come up to the next row, do the same thing. And we're just going to do that all the way down the loom except for the very, very last row. So this is where my last one is laid. Do not lay one on the very last row. We're going to close that off with our other color in a second. But that is what your loom should look like. So go ahead and turn it around if you're caught up with me. We are going to grab the first color that we laid, which is right here on the bottom, my baby blue. And we're going to close off the bottoms here. So we're just going to lay a horizontal one right there on the front 2 and on the left front 2. Like so. And then we have one more band that we will lay, which will be our cat band. And we're going to wrap it around these 2. But I like to just place the cat band on one of the pins in the center. And then I'll grab my hook and I'll stretch that entire cat band over to the other pin. Like so. And now we are going to be ready for looping. So to start the looping process, we're going to be working with the first color first, which is going to be the baby blue that's sitting right here and then on the bottom of the side rows. So we're going to start by going into the cat band here. You're going to grab the top band on the right and bring it to itself, which is back to the right. And we'll go ahead and get the left one done while we're here. So grab the top left band and bring it back to itself, which is to the left. And now it doesn't matter which side you start with. I'm going to go ahead and start with the left side. So we're just simply going to be going down into this front pin. We're going to be going inside of 3 bands. And then you're going to grab a hold of the bottom one, which is my blue. And we're going to be looping it up diagonally to this center pin right here. Right like that. So we're going to come up to the next pin. And as far as the bands that are facing you that you got to get into, you're technically only moving 2 of them out of the way. So I'm going to move these top 2 out of the way, and I can see my bottom blue band right there. And I will loop that diagonally up to the center. It might be kind of tight in there because of the square band. So I'll show you that again. We're going to come up to the next pin. This bottom band right here is the one we're grabbing. So I'm going to push the top 2 bands that are in my way. I'm going to move them. Grab my bottom blue band. And diagonally up. And we're going to loop all of our blues this exact same way. Does get a little bit stuck on there since it's so tight. Just got to kind of pull it slowly and work it off of the pin. So I'm at the top of my loom, and the only band I have left is my diagonal one, but we are not going to close that off until the very end, so I'm going to leave that like it is. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the right side. So we've already looped this first one out, and now we'll just go into the corner pin, and we would do as we've been doing, grabbing the very bottom band and stretch it diagonally up. And now you can see they both are matching. So go ahead and get your right side looped up just like I am, and I will meet you here when my side is done. So I just want to remind you, when you reach the top, we're not doing anything with that last diagonal band. We'll worry about that when we close it off. So we're going to come down to the beginning of our loom, and we're going to be working with my glow-in-the-dark green bands, these clearish bands right here. So if you come up to your second row, here's my first one, here's my second one. If you look directly behind your second row, you're going to find the back of that horizontal band. You can see that the band wraps all the way around like that. But we're just going to grab this part of it and pull it in front of the 2 pins. Just like that. It doesn't really matter if it's a little twisted, but out of habit I do tend to fix it. So we just did this one, come up to the next one, and the band that's sitting directly behind the 2 pins, this is the only one there, you're going to grab it and pull it towards yourself and sit it in front like so. Come up to the next one, so we were just here. You can't grab anything from here because it's locked under these bands. You always have to go behind the pin and grab that horizontal band, pull it towards yourself, and sit it in front of the 2 pins like that. So that's what we're going to do right now, going all the way up the loom, just pulling them in front like so. So this is where I left off. Come up to the next row, reach behind the pins, grab that band, and pull it in front. So take your time with this part. Make sure that you don't leave any of these bands behind. It will affect that part of the bracelet. The bracelet won't fall apart, but it will affect the looseness or tightness of it. And then we have one more to do on this top row. Do the same thing. So you can go through and double check and make sure that they are all flipped over. Once you're done doing that, we will come to the beginning and we are going to be working with our X bands, and then we're going to be flipping part of the square band. So we'll start with our pink. So we're going to go down into this front center left side of the loom, grab that pink band, loop it forward, repeat on this center right one. The bottom X band is being looped forward. We're not looping it like an X. So it will look like that. Once you loop it straight, we need to grab the back side of the purple square band. So if you're looking at the center pin where we just attached that pink band, look directly behind it, and you see this part of the square purple band, you're going to grab that. There's a little opening right here, which makes it very easy to grab. I just push my hook into that opening, grab a hold of that purple band, pull it towards myself, and let it go. Same thing on the left side. Here's the pin. You're going to look directly behind it. You can see that purple band right there. You're just going to grab it, pull it towards yourself, and let it go. So the bands are sitting right there in front of the pin. And now we can go back to looping our pink X band, excuse me. So I'll go into the left one. It's very tight. Push back until you see that bottom pink and loop that straight up. Do the same on the right pin. Loop that straight up. And now we need to flip that purple again. So this is the pin we just attached it to. I'm going to look directly behind it. I see my purple square band is right here. Just pull it over the pin and let go. Do the same on the left. So we'll go back in and loop up our X pinks, or our pink X. That probably would have sounded better. So I've looped those up, and now we will flip the purple square band over. We're going to continue alternating between looping the pink up and flipping the purple. I am at the top of my loom. I've just looped my pink straight up, and make sure that you flip the last purple just like we've been doing the whole time. And then to finish off the middle, we're going to loop up the X straight up like we've been doing the entire time. To finish off though, the most important part, so that your bracelet does not fall apart, we have to now loop these diagonal blues. So come to the corner pin, reach in and grab the very bottom band and bring it back to itself, which is to the center, and do the same on the right side. If you don't remember to loop those diagonal bands, your bracelet will fall apart and all that work will be for nothing. So once you do that, grab your C-clip. We're ready to close it off. So we're just going to reach down into this top center pin, grab one side of the blue band we laid down there at the beginning, and bring both ends together. And we will attach our C-clip onto that band. For this bracelet, I highly recommend you use your hook to go down both sides of the bracelet. Before I actually let that C-clip go though, I like to release the very top and then gently let it go to make sure I don't lose anything there. Okay, so as I stated, it's going to look a hot mess when you take it off. Actually, I said a little messy. This one looks a lot messy, but I'm going to show you how to fix it. So I always stretch my bracelet when I take it off. For this bracelet, it's not going to do anything for the sides, but it does help with these bands here. So I do that always. But now we need to go down, starting at the top of the bracelet. We need to grab a hold of the rings. I grab about 2 or 3 at a time, and you're going to pull at the same time left to right. Come down to the next few, grab them, and pull. And I do that going all the way down. So you can already see how it's cleaning it up. So go down all the way. This is very important. So after you're done stretching all of it left to right, I just want to warn you, you do not want to stretch it up and down again like this way. You don't want to do that. If you stretch it up and down, the bands are going to suck back in. It won't look messy, and you might like that look, so you can try it. But I like how it looks with it pulled out. So I just wanted to warn you what will happen if you do that. But if your bracelet is not long enough to fit around your wrist with 2 looms, mine is not quite long enough, I'm going to show you how to use your hook and add a couple of bands on. So at the bottom of your bracelet, you're going to locate your cap band and you're going to push your hook through that cap band. We're going to grab one of our bands and you're just going to pull it through the entire cap band like that. Bring both ends together on the cap band. On the hook, sorry. Then you grab another band, put it on your hook. You're going to bring that band through both bands on the hook and bring them together. And you just do that for however many chains you need. So I'm actually going to stop there. I just wanted to show you how to add them on if your bracelet wasn't long enough. And then you just literally grab the C-clip from the other end, which is right here, and attach it. Like so. And that's it. That is how you create my Zahara bracelet. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you made this and like it, please don't forget to hit the like button down below and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. That way you won't miss any of my upcoming tutorials. But that's it for today, you guys. I thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.